Hi, it's Toshiba with the Brandon 7 Homeschool Edition. However, that's what we switched to. We also do this because, my fourth grader in the comprehension sector is always fun. So this one is by Scholastic and it's called Study Smart Level 4 English. And so this mostly focuses on main idea. If you have a son or a daughter, I guess I would say, who is not in love with reading, my son does like reading, but his comprehension is the problem. So I thought having shorter excerpts would help because the Abeka ones are really long. And so we only do this probably once or twice a week, and we only are doing the main idea right now. But this one does have main idea and supporting details. That's where we are now. Making predictions, identifying fact and opinion, comparing and contrasting, summarizing, inferring, and drawing conclusions. So that's all that's included in here, and it's Scholastic one. It wasn't very expensive. Let's see. It doesn't say on the back, but I'm guessing it might have been like $5 or something like that. We also just added to vocabulary because, yes, he has vocabulary included in his words, but sometimes they're using the vocabulary in the logic of English as his words. And so I am just trying to get him prepared for when he goes back to school. We're not sure if that's going to be 7th grade or what, but I love Spectrum. I like the vocabulary so far. I try to do what coincides with what he's actually working on. And so right now, at the time in Logic of English, when he did this one, they were doing suffixes. And so this one was ly and ness and full, and he had to add the right one. So I just let him do one of those a day if it coincides with what we do. He also really likes Mad Libs, and it helps him work on it, and it's a fun story, especially when he understood that it didn't have to make sense. And so he likes doing that. He does one a day. Another thing that he does... Okay, Dawson, thank you for the popcorn. This is a 3rd grade Scholastic. I use it a lot more for my 2nd graders, but since he was in 3rd grade last year, in the beginning of the year, I would pull, if you can see, I've tabbed off 1,000 things. And the price is still on here. So this came from Costco, $7.49. I use this to go over certain things that he might not enjoy as much. And anyway, they're cute, they're colorful. It's not overwhelming. The 4th grade one at the beginning of the year was a little bit overwhelming, but we're starting to use it now. And I think that one is by Brainworks, if that's a thing. Another thing we switched from was math, and so we're using teaching textbooks. I don't know what that is. Anyway, this one, you can look on almost every Homeschool Moms website and find this one. I'm not going to do a review other than the fact that I love it. It comes with CDs. We bought it from christianbook.com. He loves it. We call this our fun math because we do 2 different math curricula, and this is one of them because this is what he calls his fun math, and this is what my 2nd graders can't wait to do. And since they're using Abeka, they're doing really well with Abeka, so next year they'll probably do this one because, again, teaching textbooks based on us having Abeka and using Math-U-Seat as well is probably a year behind, give or take a few lessons of something. So he's doing 2 lessons a day in this, and they're not difficult at all. He hasn't made less than a 92 on any of them so far, and he's on lesson 60 at the moment. This is what we did in the meantime when Abeka wasn't working. We went over Math-U-Seat. Again, you can see this on anyone's website. He loved it at first because it had a video, and now it's become really monotonous. I think this one, they're not based on level, they're based on, this is a mastery one, so this one is multiple digit addition and subtraction, so he's almost done. I think he might be on lesson like 28, but he's been doing it all year. And he's also doing Gamma. We just started to go over Gamma because he's in 4th grade, and we're kind of going over the multiplication facts because somehow, even though he did rote memorization in 3rd grade, he learned them with songs and stuff, which was fine, but I don't want him to know them through the song. I want him to know them. And so Math-U-Seat comes with the DVD that you watch on Monday, and then here's the book. I think we realized like halfway through that the answers were in the back of the hard book that comes with it. And then, of course, it has the teaching, the tests here, and teacher keys in the back of the hard book. I didn't know that at first. Another thing that we use, it's not over here, that I just purchased for him because we've been using Math-U-Seat longer, and there weren't a whole lot of variations with them. We also have volume, and I just got this, so he doesn't do a lot of measurements. He was also a little nervous about that, a little skittish when it comes to measuring things. And so this is volume. This is all liquid. This is not my forte. I was not a math person, but I do appreciate that it's all volume. So we're gonna start that this week when I get some time. You may not because there's only one. Can you put that down, please? And then I got him a book on subtraction because we're about to start division, and he had division last year, but he really needs to remember how to subtract, especially the long. In long division, there's some subtraction. And he kind of forgotten his subtraction facts. He's really good with addition, but he forgot that. So that's some extra stuff we got. And then, sorry, it's too far for me to grab it. Oh, I know what else we got. Okay, yes, we're still using Abeka for reading, but he loves to read, and so I found these, and you see the red dot. The red dot indicates 50% off, and it was during the week. It was during the week of April 1st, where the educators at Barnes & Noble got an extra 25%, so all these books were like, I don't know, like $2 each. So we got Anne Hutchinson, we got Coretta Scott King, and we got, I don't know how to pronounce that, Tecumseh, I'm guessing, Mother Teresa, Colin Powell, Nat Love, Louis Armstrong, and Marian Anderson. So this was like a great buy. He's, like I said, he loves all things history, and when I came home with that, he was like stoked. Like, you brought me more books, and he was like, is it who was, who is? And I'm like, no, it's a whole new one. I have no idea what these ones are. History Maker Bios, and the publisher, it just says Barnes & Noble. So anyway, they're only about 40, 50 pages long. They're really short. You can read one within, half hour, maybe less. There's one more thing I wanted to show you, but it's over here, so hold on a second. Okay, I'm trying to contort here, and this is not working out. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm back. And what we're doing for grammar is Fix-It Grammar. So this one is called The Nose Tree. I got this from Erica Arndt on Confessions of a Homeschooler. She suggested it. I think she has a review that she's done on it because she had a son who was not particularly excited about doing grammar and writing, and so she did Fix-It Grammar. Fix-It Grammar just focuses on, it's by IEW, that's the Institute for Excellence in Writing, and so it's really easy. We had been doing one sentence a day, and then, I don't know, maybe I bumped that. We moved this week to doing 2 sentences a day because he's really getting it. It really eases them into grammar, really, really easy and well, and so he has this little Black Panther printout that we made for his notebook. And the last thing that we have is we also bought the Student Writing Intensive, and I also got this based on a review from Confessions of a Homeschooler. So I'll link her down if you want to see her video. I won't go into it, but I will say he was a reluctant writer. He was an excellent writer about second and third grade, I should say, and then third grade came, and because of the spelling and the grammar understanding, and even just little things like forgetting to capitalize the first letter of a sentence, and confusing. The last English that they used in his school was Shirley English, and it had switched over, I think, from previously it was Bob Jones. That switch for him was not, smooth, and just having 2 different curricula in the same year, and it was just from second grade to third grade, but it didn't work out well for him. I actually think I liked Bob Jones better, and I had heard awesome things about the Shirley method, but when you get a new curriculum and not everyone knows how to use it, it could really be detrimental for the children. And so we have been using writing as a separate curriculum because he really compartmentalizes, like I said, and so this is also Student Writing Intensive. I only bought this. There is like a 2-hour video that you should watch. I started watching it and then I fell asleep a couple times, but you should watch it before you start with him. There is a really like 5-hour intensive one that costs a little bit more. I didn't go for that one because I listened to Erica Arndt, but this is all about making keyword outlines. So if you have a student who's reluctant on writing because they don't have any ideas, and for my son, he had a lot of ideas, but he would explain it to me like, well, the things that I think in my mind are not what it looks like on paper. When I'm thinking it and when I'm writing it, it's 2 different things. And so his was more connected to, I think, the dyslexia, because he writes really well, but he was really I don't know, lacking confidence in that area. And I think it had a lot to do with the spelling errors and the grammatical errors. Oh, I'm just all over the place. Anyway, I just wanted to come and give a quick video. Avi, my videos are not going to be quick. I'm going to try to edit it down because right now I'm looking at 34 minutes. And I spent a lot of time on the Logic of English, so I'll probably just breeze right past that section. But as you can tell, I really love it. It does make the day go by a lot quicker. So if you were an Abeka or you are an Abeka user, Abeka takes all day long. Since we switched to that, Dave is done with school and, like, you know, a third of the time is, maybe 2/3 of the time I should say. So he starts off, we start bright and early, and it takes us about an hour and a half to do Logic of English, when typically most of the parents who've used it, or the homeschool moms, have said it takes 30 to 40 minutes. Ours takes a little bit longer just so that he can understand my verbiage and my language and what I'm saying and get the spelling right. He likes to spend a little bit of extra time on the game. So he and I are awake way before most of the other kids are, doing the Logic of English on our own. I will say that I probably will be switching my other children to it, just because they're going to 3rd grade next year and it's already ready for 3rd grade. And I'll probably order this one is Essentials. I'm not sure what the name of Foundations. I'll probably order those for my 2nd graders for next year. They're 1st grade now, but I really love the games that they have. I told you, I'll link those videos below to show you the mom, or the homeschool mom, that did the review that sold me on it. And I think you guys will absolutely love it, especially if you're having a kid who may be struggling and you're not sure if it's dyslexia, or they're uncomfortable with phonics, because phonics doesn't work well for everyone. And phonics, especially through Abeka, it's really well, it's done really well in the videos. They go through the rules of spelling. They don't go through them as rules, but they do go over them, and the kids kind of naturally pick up on them. But if they don't, and I have a younger son who is 6, and I can tell he's transversing a whole lot of his letters, starting out just like Dave was. He was just a really good reader, but then some words, like if he sees on, he'll say no. If he sees no, he'll say on. If the word is lift, forget about it. He's going to say left. Because if it has all the same letters, I just noticed it from when Dave was that age, and he does the same things. So if you're noticing those little quips, which are developmentally normal in a normally developing child, it's fine. It's when it gets to the 3rd grade, the end of 3rd grade, and it hasn't changed, or it hasn't gotten better and it's gotten progressively worse, where you might need to keep your eye on it. And so I'm probably going to start Dawson on it, because he's a logical boy. He's really into math and science. And so since I already have it with Dave, I think I'm going to start him on Foundations next year, and leave Abeka, even though we really like it for 2nd and 1st graders. I really enjoy the Logic of English, and I want to get my 2nd, who will be 3rd grader, started on the writing part, because they don't start writing until right now in Abeka, and we're probably on lesson 80 something, almost 90, and we're just starting to really write. And we've only written a letter so far, 1 letter, and so far it's just been writing sentences with a capital letter and a period. And so I want them to start right away. Thank you so much for watching. This video turned out to be super long. Was not my intention, but as you can see, I really love the Logic of English so far. I'll give a full review when I'm done based on how he's doing, because sometimes I see parents who go, I love this, like, you know, the Oprah, I love it, oh my gosh, everybody gets Logic of English, you get Logic of English, but then the child does not respond to it as much as the parent does. And so I'm trying to be more cognizant of that, because I am loving it. I'm loving teaching it. But if he doesn't make any progress, which so far he has made some, but I'm just saying, we're on lesson 6. By the time we get to the end of the book, which is lesson 15, if he hasn't made the progress that I'm hoping for, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to just speak life. He is making progress, and hopefully he'll continue to make that progress. And of course, we're going to finish it out no matter what, because I really think he's going to enjoy it when it comes to 5th grade. But I'm just so glad that we switched, and that I listened to all the homeschool moms. I watched the Clovers, I don't know her name, Raising Clovers, and all of them, I mean, all of you guys said this, like, if it is not working, abandon it. And I was thinking, my husband's not going to do that. At, you know, $800 a pop, we're going to be using that whole box curriculum until it is done and there's no pages left. But I didn't think that would be me. I just thought, we're going to order and it's going to work. And it did. I mean, you know, 2/3 of it worked. But for Dave, I wanted to make sure that we did the best, and so I don't feel like we wasted money, but I'm glad that it was a learning experience for both of us, and that I love him enough that it's not about the price of it, even though in the beginning I was thinking, oh, for $800, which is about the price of a bag, oh, we'll work through it, we'll take our time. But it just made us both frustrated, and I was thinking, I have to do this for my son. So We changed. I'm so glad we did. And I have no regrets on switching to all of the things that we changed to. So thanks a lot for watching, and check out my other videos, and I'll do a complete mid-year review of Abeka, how it's going for my first and second graders. I'll probably do those together because the materials are different. However, it's kind of similar in terms of the phonics and the math. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a blessed day.